Namaste students. Today we can discuss the answers of midterm examination. You have already written the midterm examination. Now you can come to know how much marks you got. Okay. So I will tell the which are the correct answers. So you just clarify the answers and just you come to know which is the correct answer. Okay. So next. Section 1, it carries 20 marks. Question number 1, in that A, name the following. A hormone which converts excess of glucose into glycogen. A hormone which converts excess of glucose into glycogen. Answer is insulin. A hormone which converts excess of glucose into glycogen. Answer is insulin. Insulin, it helps to convert the excess of glucose into glycogen. Next, a membrane which protects the heart. A membrane which protects the heart, pericardium. Pericardium is the membrane which protects the heart, not pericardial fluid. So many of the students have written pericardial fluid. So it is not a pericardial fluid. Answer is pericardium. Next, the structural and functional unit of nervous system. The structural and functional unit of nervous system, it is the neuron. Neuron is the answer. Next, the food is stored by the cells of phloem tissue. The food is stored by the cells of phloem tissue. Answer is phloem parenchyma. Next, the process in which the absorption of minerals needs energy. The process in which the absorption of minerals needs energy. Answer is active absorption or active transport. So these are the answers for name the following. So you have to write the spellings properly. If the spellings are not proper, I deduct the mark. Okay. So while writing the answer, because you are writing only one word, not the long answers. So in that one word, you have to write the spellings properly. Next, choose the odd one out of the following terms. You have to write only the odd one in the following terms. First one, simple goiter, cretinism, diabetes mellitus, myxoedema. So answer is diabetes mellitus. Answer is diabetes mellitus because remaining three caused because of the thyroxine hormone. So diabetes caused because of the insulin hormone. So answer is diabetes mellitus. Next, superior vena cava, pulmonary artery, inferior vena cava, pulmonary vein. Odd one is pulmonary vein because remaining three carries deoxygenated blood. Only pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood. So the odd one is pulmonary vein. Next, breathing, intelligence, memory, willpower. Answer is breathing because remaining three are the functions of cerebrum. Remaining three are the functions of cerebrum. So answer is breathing. Next, iron, zinc, phosphorus, manganese. Odd one is the phosphorus because iron, zinc, manganese consider the micronutrients. Phosphorus is the macronutrients. So odd one is phosphorus. Next, growth hormone, thyroxine, prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone. Answer is thyroxine because remaining three hormones are secreted by the pituitary gland. Thyroxine hormone is secreted by thyroid gland. So answer is thyroxine. Next, state true or false. If false, rewrite the statement in correct form. Many of the students did not read this statement properly. I informed state true or false. If false, rewrite the statement in correct form. I inform if false means you have to correct the statement in you have to write the statement in a correct form. And many of the students have written false, true, only that much they have written. Which are the falses they did not write in the correct form. So I did not give the mark. and some of the students, they have written only the correct word. For that also I didn't give the mark, because I mentioned if first rewrite the statement. You have to write the statement again in a correct form. So that's why you have to write whole statement in a correct form. So those who are written only the first, I did not give the mark, and those who not written the statement properly, only they have written only one word, means I didn't give the mark. First one, transpiration is the loss of water from the roots of the plant. Answer is false. Correct statement, transpiration is the loss of water from the aerial part of the plant. Next, cortisol hormone is secreted by cortex of adrenal. True. In spinal cord, grey matter is made up of cell bodies. True. Right side of the heart carries deoxygenated blood. True. The smell of good food causes watering of your mouth. It is an example of inborn reflex. False. The smell of good food causes the watering of your mouth. It is an example of acquired or conditional reflex. Some they have written artificial reflex. No mark. There is no artificial reflex. You have to write acquired or conditional reflex. Next, given below are set of terms. Study the relationship of first pair and complete the second pair. Example is given for you. First one, transport of food, phloem, conduction of water, xylem. Next, upper chamber, auricle, lower chamber, ventricle. Pancreas, behind the stomach, adrenal, top over the kidney, or you can write above the kidney. Many of the students have written cap of the kidney. There is no cap in the kidney. You write cap over the kidney. Okay, cap over the kidney or above the kidney. So that also you can write. Next, blinking, natural reflex, playing guitar, conditional or acquired reflex. Next, universal donor, O group, universal recipient, AB group. So these are the correct answer. Next, section second. Question number 2, in that A, complete the following table by filling the blanks 1 to 10 with appropriate terms. Answers. Number 1, answer is pancreas. Number 2, you have to write the function of insulin. So you can write regulate the amount of sugar in the blood, or convert the extra glucose into glycogen, or you can write cause the cells to convert extra glucose into fat. Any one function you have to write. Next, number 3, answer is thyroxine. Number 4, you have to write the function of thyroxine. So you have to write controls the metabolic rate. Next, number 5, pituitary gland. Number 5, adrenal gland. Number 6, adrenaline. You have to write the spelling properly. A-D-R-E. Many of the students have written A-D-E-R. So no mark. Adrenaline, the pronunciation is different. Properly. Okay. While teaching that lesson also I inform, write the spelling properly. So many of the students have written A-D-E-R. No, wrong answer. Adrenal, A-D-R-E. So 5, adrenal gland. 6, adrenaline. Next, 7, pituitary gland. 8, FSH or follicle stimulating hormone. 9th, pituitary gland. And 10th, the function of growth hormone you have to write. The 10th, it is a speed up growth, or it helpful for the growth in infant. Any one function you can write. So these are the answers for the question, question number 2 in that A. Next, question number 2 in that B, differentiate between the following pairs on the basis of what is indicated within the bracket. First one, bicuspid valve and tricuspid valve, you have to write about the location. Bicuspid valve, it is present between the left auricle and left ventricle. Tricuspid valve, it is located between the right auricle and right ventricle. So many of the students have written bicuspid wall in the left side, tricuspid wall in the right side. No marks for you. You have to write the exact location. So bicuspid wall between the left auricle and left ventricle, tricuspid wall between the right auricle and right ventricle. Next, exocrine gland and endocrine gland secretion. You have to write what it secretes. Exocrine gland secretes the enzymes, endocrine gland secretes the hormone. Only that is the answer. Some they have written this ductal gland, ductus gland. No, I did not ask that one. I asked only the secretion. You have to write what it secretes. So exocrine gland, enzyme, endocrine gland, hormone. Next, xylem and phloem. You have to write the living cells of xylem and phloem. So xylem living cell is wood parenchyma or xylem parenchyma. In the phloem living cells is sieve tubes companion cell and phloem parenchyma. Many of the students have written all are except one remaining are dead cell in the xylem. In the phloem they have written phloem fiber is a dead cell, remaining are the living cell. No, there is no marks. You have to mention only the living cells which are present in the xylem and phloem. Next, artery and vein, direction of blood flow. Artery, the blood flows from the heart to the different parts of the body, away from the heart to the different parts of the body. Vein, from the different parts of the body towards the heart. Vein, the blood flows from different parts of the body to the heart region. Artery, from the heart to different parts of the body. Only how to write the direction of blood flows. I did not ask which type of blood flows. I asked the direction of blood flows. Next, cranial nerve and spinal nerve, pairs of nerves. Cranial nerves 12 pair, spinal nerve 31 pair. Only how to write how much is there in the pair you have to write. Cranial nerve 12 pair, spinal nerve 31 pair. So these are the answers. Next, given below is a diagram of internal structure of brain. Study the diagram and answer the following questions. You have to study the diagram and you have to write the answers for these questions. First one, label the parts 1, 2 and 3. So label the parts. 1 is the cerebrum, 2 is the cerebellum, 3 is the medulla oblongata. Many of the students have written cerebral hemisphere, okay. Cerebellum, some they have written only medulla, no marks for you. You have to write complete name, medulla oblongata. Number 1 is the cerebrum, number 2 is the cerebellum, number 3 is the medulla oblongata. Each part carries half of mass, so 1.5 mass. Next, state the function of part 1 and 2. Number 1 is the cerebrum, so its function is, it is the seat of intelligence, willpower, memory, thinking, reasoning, etc. Number 2, it is the cerebellum, so its function is, it to coordinate the muscular activity and balance in the body. So each carries 1 mass, so the total 2 mass. Next, how are neurons arranged in part 1? So you know the part 1 is the cerebrum. So you have to write how the neurons are arranged in the cerebrum. Here outer part of the cerebrum, grey matter, it contains the cell bodies. Inner part is the white matter, it contains the axons. Only that is the answer. Many of the students have written it has 9 millions of neurons. They have written like that. No, that is not a correct answer. How the neurons are arranged in the brain, cerebrum they may ask. So that's why answer is, outer portion is grey matter, it has the cell bodies of neuron. Inner portion is white matter, it has the axons of neurons. Only this is the answer. It carries 1 marks. Next, what happens if injured to the part 3? Part 3 is the medulla oblongata. So if injured to the medulla oblongata, it leads to death of the person. So it leads to death of the person. It carries half mass. Next, expand the following. First one is CNS, Central Nervous System. CNS is the Central Nervous System. Next, SAN, Sinoatrial Node. SAN, Sinoatrial Node. Next, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. GH, growth hormone. PNS, peripheral nervous system. PNS, peripheral nervous system. Here also the spellings are not proper. I didn't give the mark. So you have to write the spellings properly. Then only you will get the full marks. Next, question number 4. Given below is the internal structure of the human heart. Study the diagram and answer the following questions. So we have given the internal structure of the human heart. First question, label the parts 1, 2, 3, 4. Each carries half of mass, so 2 marks question. So part 1 is pulmonary artery. Part 2 is superior vena cava, or you can write vena cava. Part 3, pulmonary vein. Part 4, aorta. So many of the students have not written the number. They have written the answer, but there is no number. Which is the part 1, which is the part 2, there is no number. So no marks. So you have to write the number and you have to write the answer. Part 1, pulmonary artery. Part 2, vena cava, or you can write superior vena cava. Part 3, pulmonary vein. And part 4, aorta. Next, what is the main difference? Quality of blood contained in part 2 and part 4. How to write the quality of blood? In part 2, it is the superior vena cava. So, blood is deoxygenated blood. Part 4 is the aorta. So, oxygenated blood. You have to write part 2 deoxygenated blood. Part 4 oxygenated blood. Only that is the answer. Here also many students did not written the part or did not written the name. They have written deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood. So which part they did not mention the part name or part number also. So there is no marks. You have to write part 4, part 2 deoxygenated blood, part 4 oxygenated blood. Next, what is double circulation? The blood flows twice through the heart. The blood flows twice through the heart, that is called as double circulation. Some they have written the blood flows twice through the body. So wrong answer. Blood flows twice through the heart, that is called as double circulation. Next, write the 2 differences between the lymph and blood. Mention the difference between the lymph and blood. It contains the RBCs, WBCs, platelets. Lymph, it contains the plasma and WBCs, or watery fluid and WBCs. Next, blood, it is red in color, and in the lymph it is a pale yellowish in color. There are 2 differences you can write. Each carries a half of mass, so that's why 1 mass question. Or you can write lymph is a part of open circulatory system, blood is a part of closed circulatory system. So blood, it is responsible for transporting the respiratory gases, and lymph, it is a immune system. It is mainly responsible for immune system. So any 2 difference you can write. Each carries half of mass, so 1 mass question. Next, write one function of the following. First one, pericardial fluid. So it protects the heart from the shock, jerk, etc. Or it reduces the friction between the pericardium layer. Any one function you have to write. So next one is the spinal cord. It control the reflexes below the neck region. Or you can write to conduct the messages from the skin and muscles to the brain. Or you can write conduct the commands from the brain to muscles of the trunk and limbs. Any one functions you can write. Next, root. Root main function is absorb the water and minerals. Root main function is absorption of water and minerals. Some they are written conduction of water. No, conduction of water takes place through the xylem. Root main function is absorption of water and minerals. Next, capillaries. Capillaries, it helpful for the exchange of the respiratory gases, nutrients between the blood and tissue. It helpful for the exchange of the respiratory gases, nutrients from the blood and tissue. That is the correct answer, the correct function of the capillaries. Many of the written, it is interconnecting the arteries and veins. So it is not the main function. What is the main function? That you have to write, because our body cells will get the nutrients and oxygen through the capillaries. So that's why you have to write. It helpful for the exchange of the nutrients and the blood, nutrients and the oxygen from the blood as well as the between the blood and tissues. So it takes place through the capillaries. Next, sensory neuron. It carries the impulses from sense organs to spinal cord or brain. It carries the impulses from sense organs to brain or spinal cord. So these are the answers for the midterm examination. And if you not written the spellings properly, I cut the mark, because you are writing the only one word. So in that one word the spellings are not proper, means I definitely cut the marks. So next time while writing the answer, practice and write. Don't make the mistakes in the spellings. You will lose the marks.